It is often said that big things come in small packages, and on the night of March 10th, 2024 at the Academy Awards, many people, including myself, thought that the history could possibly be inside of the small Golden Best Actress envelope on stage at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. Since the later half of 2023 going into 2024, online communities of film fanatics, Oscar historians, and pop culture mavens have been speculating the 2024 Academy Awards and the discourse around the nominees and potential winners. And while supporting actor and actress and even director and picture have been near locks for what feels like months now, Best Actress was the one category at this year's Oscar ceremony that left those same online communities of movie lovers endlessly debating who the winner would be up until the very second that the winner was announced. Would Emma Stone win her second Oscar for Poor Things? Or would Lily Gladstone make history as the first Native American woman to win Best Actress for her role in Killers of the Flower Moon? And while Emma Stone's Best Actress win for Poor Things isn't surprising, somehow it still feels shocking. In the weeks leading up to the 2024 Academy Awards, many people switched their predictions last minute to Lily Gladstone as the industry momentum seemed to shift, with her history-making winning narrative taking center stage. After winning the Screen Actors Guild Award, it seemed like Lily Gladstone was poised to win, but then she didn't. If so much of the internet and the industry thought Lily Gladstone was going to win enough to change their predictions right before the ceremony, then why was she ultimately not victorious? Examining the history of the Best Actress category at the Academy Awards, with surrounding cultural context, should be able to give us some insight into how this race played out. With a primary focus on the importance of narrative when newcomers are nominated for an Oscar, the limited nature of temporary cultural visibility, and the significance and potential influence of Lily Gladstone's Best Actress nomination for Native American people in the entertainment industry going forward. Going into the 2024 award season, Best Actress was a very unpredictable race. Many weren't even sure if Lily Gladstone would be a supporting or a lead actress for Killers of the Flower Moon. Many award pundits wanted Greta Lee for Past Lives to be nominated, with a majority of online polls predicting Margot Robbie be nominated for Barbie. But ultimately, the 5 women nominated for Best Actress at the 2024 Academy Awards were Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Emma Stone for Poor Things, Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall, Annette Bening for Nyad, and Carey Mulligan for Maestro. Sandra Hüller, while arguably the best performance in the category for Anatomy of a Fall, did not have any of the main precursor awards, a compelling winning narrative, or the momentum to campaign for Best Actress. Although Sandra can flex the fact that she is the main female lead in 2 Best Picture nominees, both Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest, she is for sure the dark horse of the lineup. Annette Bening, now on her 5th Oscar nomination, was never going to win for Nyad. The win for Annette was securing the nomination, considering Margot Robbie had her place in most critics' polls prior to the Oscar nominations. Overdue narratives typically have momentum, and Annette Bening did not have the momentum for Nyad. Carey Mulligan, now on her 3rd nomination for Best Actress in the movie Maestro, was in a similar boat to Annette. I do think Carey Mulligan will eventually win an Oscar, but in the case of her nomination for Maestro, where despite her performance being top tier, it's in a movie that audiences and many critics hated, meaning the nomination is the win. While all 5 women respectively deserve their flowers and recognition in a separate full-length video, award season and ultimately the Oscars race for Best Actress boiled down to Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone. In Killers of the Flower Moon, Lily Gladstone plays Molly Burkhart, an Osage woman living in the 1920s Oklahoma during an oil boom. After the oil is discovered on the Osage land, white men slowly and systematically marry into, poison, and murder the Osage people for the land that the oil belongs to. To remain spoiler-free for those who have not seen Killers of the Flower Moon, Lily Gladstone's performance is the kind of performance that does a lot of talking while barely talking at all. A subtle, quiet, and contained performance communicated mostly through Lily Gladstone's eyes and body language, being able to carry entire scenes with a single facial expression. It's the kind of performance we rarely see awarded at the Oscars, because it isn't obvious or in your face or over the top. Lily Gladstone gives a deft, self-effacing performance in Killers of the Flower Moon, with precise screen time, rivaling her co-star Leonardo DiCaprio every single step of the way. Now oppose that more withdrawn and reserved performance of Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon with that of Emma Stone in Poor Things. Described by some as Barbie for mentally ill people, Poor Things follows the journey of Bella Baxter, a Frankenstein experiment gone awry, as she chronicles the world around her and enjoys both a spiritual, emotional, and sexual awakening going from the mental capacity of a child through adulthood over the course of the film's duration. Again, while remaining spoiler-free for those who have not seen Poor Things, as it is still playing in theaters, I cannot emphasize how vastly different these 2 performances are. In every feasible way, Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone are the antithesis of one another in both of their respective films. One performance is dancing, running, and having sex, or as she calls it, furious jumping, while one performance moves her eyes more than any other body part. One is fully clothed for her entire performance, while one takes her clothes off every couple scenes. Out of the two, Emma Stone does have the significantly juicier role for the Academy to pick apart and discuss. This is fairly typical with the Academy's overt track record for awarding over-the-top performances, especially from women, especially when a lot of nudity is involved. And while this would be moderately hard to prove, Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things has some of the most nudity of any Best Actress nominee or winner in Oscars history. Emma Stone's win for Poor Things does indicate that the Academy's preference for louder, bolder, meatier performances is still alive and well. To further illustrate just how diametrically opposed these two roles really are, let's examine how the industry reacted to each of their performances in films. Wendy Idle of The Guardian described Lily's performance as, "Her serene composure draws the eye, her quiet strength holds it, and she is the heart of the film that is populated by the heartless." Moira MacDonald of the Seattle Times declared, "The true star turn here is Gladstone, who can tell an entire story in a knowing gaze or a flirtatious giggle. She is the film's Braveheart." For Emma Stone's performance in Poor Things, David Rooney of The Hollywood Reporter said that Stone's gift for physical comedy has never been tapped to this extent, referring to how Stone really goes for it when referring to Bella's sexual awakening. John Bleasdale of Cineview described Poor Things as Barbie on absinthe, stating, "Stone gives a career best performance. She is childlike and raunchy, emotional and smart, amoral and just," concluding that Stone's performance is also a timely finger in the eye to the prudery and sexual negativity that masquerades as post-Me Too thoughtfulness. Clearly based on the reviews, Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone had two very different character arcs going into award season. Their films, Killers of the Flower Moon and Poor Things, both contending in other major categories such as director and best picture as well, making any case for either to win more difficult to declare with absolute certainty. Lily Gladstone becoming the first Native American woman to be nominated for Best Actress is enormous, but the nomination came with several uphill battles. Had she won, Lily Gladstone would have joined the other two women of color who have both won Best Actress, Halle Berry in 2002 for Monsters Ball, and Michelle Yeoh in 2023 for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Out of nearly 80 Best Actress winners, they are the only two that are not white. Now pair that with the fact that we have had several major movies that even the Oscars have recognized over the years that focus on Native American tribes and lifestyles, most notably in 1991, even giving Best Picture to Dances with Wolves. Yet, none of those movies have ever given Native American actors the chance to have roles fleshed out enough to even make it to the Oscars stage. Marlon Brando even infamously didn't show up to the 1973 Academy Awards when he won Best Actor for The Godfather, instead sending 26-year-old activist Sacheen Littlefeather, at the time the president of the National Native American Affirmative Image Committee, to refuse the award, citing the negative treatment from Hollywood toward Native American people. By and large, films about Native American people have been told from the perspectives of white men. Even Killers of the Flower Moon itself is about the murders of the Osage people, but from the perspectives of the white men doing the killings. It's also directed and written by a white man. I don't say this to criticize Killers of the Flower Moon or its intentions, but to simply indicate that the road for Lily Gladstone to even get an Oscar nomination, let alone a win, literally did not exist until this year. When thinking of the possibility of Emma Stone versus Lily Gladstone, it's impossible to avoid the historical implications. In recent years, largely due to the Oscars So White movement, the Academy Awards have shifted their focus from awarding the best performance to awarding the best performance and the best narrative. This balance seems to change year to year based on who is nominated and who the winds are blowing in favor of, as determined by the awards precursors, audience and critical reception, and, to a lesser extent, box office sales. Lily Gladstone from the very beginning had a winning narrative going into awards season. With the potential historic value across multiple award shows, the industry could award a recent shining star who had her first mainstream recognized dramatic role. And while Lily Gladstone did give a magnetic performance, the history-making aspect of her nomination couldn't and wouldn't go ignored. A combination of gradual awareness of Killers of the Flower Moon, mainstream talk show interviews, and overwhelming positive press coverage contributed heavily to many changing their last-minute predictions to Lily Gladstone. Let's take a closer look at her awards race narrative to see why. Born in Kalispell, Montana in 1986, Lily Gladstone didn't get her first film role until a supporting spot in 2012's Jimmy P. Psychotherapy of a Plains Indian. Her breakout role came 4 years later in Kelly Reichardt's 2016 critical darling drama Certain Women. In the last 12 years since her film career started, Lily Gladstone has been in 11 films. Contrast that with Emma Stone, aged 35 years old, just 2 years younger than Lily, has had 31 film roles since her film career began in 2007 with Superbad. And mind you, those are only the roles that Emma accepted. Imagine the amount of roles Emma could accept, but turns down. On the other hand, Lily Gladstone was planning on quitting acting before Martin Scorsese offered her the role of Molly Burkhart in Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, why do I mention this? Because the truth of the matter is that Hollywood is not currently designed to allow women who look like Lily Gladstone to even be offered 31 film roles in the same amount of time as Emma Stone. This is juxtaposed with the versatility in Emma Stone's filmography as well. Would Lily Gladstone be considered for any of the same roles that Emma would? Are casting directors willing to offer Lily's name as an actress a top of mind when thinking of actors to star in blockbusters, or rom-coms, or drama comedy period pieces? What about fantasy epics about female sexual awakening? Ask yourself, would Lily Gladstone ever be offered a role like Poor Things? And if not, why? In a lot of ways, the fact that The Killers of Flower Moon afforded Lily Gladstone the chance to receive awards recognition is a miracle in and of itself. Nearly 100 Oscar ceremonies, and Lily Gladstone is the only Native American acting nominee. It's truly ironic that an American award show that began in 1929, the same decade as the time period of Killers of the Flower Moon, took nearly a century to recognize a portion of the population that was here before anyone else at their own ceremony. As it is often said at the Oscars, history repeats itself. Just last year in 2023, we saw a very similar scenario play out during award season. Two-time previous Academy Award winner Cate Blanchett in Tar up against first-time nominee Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Cate Blanchett won the Golden Globe for Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, then eventually winning the BAFTA for Lead Actress, just as Emma Stone won the Golden Globe for Musical or Comedy, and eventually the BAFTA. Michelle Yeoh won the Golden Globe for Actress, Musical or Comedy, then eventually winning SAG, and then the Oscar, just as Lily Gladstone won the Golden Globe for Actress in a Drama, eventually winning SAG, but not the Oscar. The obvious difference between these races is that the overall narrative for Michelle Yeoh was that she was overdue, and that Cate Blanchett didn't need a third win, as much as Michelle Yeoh needed to make history as the first Asian woman to win Best Actress. Just as Cate Blanchett was winning a lot of awards in the first half of award season, similar to Emma Stone this year, Michelle Yeoh picked up a lot of narrative momentum midway through the race, similar to Lily Gladstone this year. The narrative momentum surrounding Lily Gladstone seemed to me, and most of the internet, that this tipped the scale in Lily's favor. After Lily won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Lead Actress, the ending of this race seemed inevitable. I mean, look at Emma Stone's face when she lost. Does she look upset? To me, she looks more excited than Lily herself. To many people, the Academy Awards races for Best Actress of 2023 and 2024 appeared similar on the most simplistic narrative level. Two white women, both previous winners, both seemingly not caring midway through awards campaigning, up against potentially history-making first-time nominees that are extremely likable, both critically and commercially. In the age of social media, it's difficult to ignore the potential implications of history-making wins. Someone inevitably has to open the door for opportunity. Halle Berry opened the door for Black women to win Best Actress in 2002, but a grand total of 0 Black women have won since. Halle herself has not been nominated at all since winning. Michelle Yeoh opened the door for Asian women to win Best Actress, because before her win, women like Merle Oberon had to hide their Asian identity just to get hired for roles in a prejudiced Hollywood. In my video about SZA losing to Taylor Swift for Album of the Year at the Grammys, I mentioned that Taylor will inevitably be nominated for at least a half dozen or more so times for Album of the Year, but the likelihood for SZA receiving the same treatment would be extremely unlikely. Apply that same logic here. Will Emma Stone be nominated for more Academy Awards? 5 nominations at 35 years old tells me that that is a resounding yes. But what about Lily Gladstone? Will Lily get 5 Oscar nominations in her lifetime? Are there 5 Oscar recognition level roles that will be offered to Lily Gladstone to even afford her the chance at nominations? Representation is only as valuable as it is culturally relevant. If the Academy only awards 1 Black woman and 1 Asian woman alongside 70 white women, what does that say? It says something about the lack of diversity in the voting body of the Academy Awards historically, yes, but it says something greater about the lack of roles, or the lack of consideration for roles, rather, for actresses that look like Lily Gladstone, or Michelle Yeoh, or Halle Berry. What's frustrating is that some actresses like Amy Adams, Glenn Close, and even this year's nominee Annette Bening can have the public and industry claim that they're overdue for Oscars, despite having over 5 nominations each, but no one ever acknowledges the opposite side of that coin, where there are actresses who simply can't ever be in that position, not because of a lack of talent or skill, but because of a lack of opportunity and consideration, and the underlying perception from Academy members that they are not worthy of those same nominations. Even actresses like Meryl Streep and Frances McDormand can successfully campaign their way to eventual 3rd Oscar wins, but actresses who look like Lily Gladstone have to fight on an industry-wide level just to be taken seriously enough to even get any mainstream roles at all. Lily Gladstone shouldn't have to contemplate quitting acting due to a lack of roles in order for a role to spring about. It's a painful irony that Lily Gladstone was nominated for a performance that's by and large muted and suppressed, from a voting body that has historically marginalized and stifled the voices of people that look like her or with a similar background to her. Lily Gladstone may have lost the Oscar, but she gained an opportunity. The opportunity to bring attention to the voices of Native American people from an industry that has tried since its inception to rewrite their history, disregard and mock their way of life, and silence any dissenting voices that dare to break the boundaries created before the Academy Awards even existed. But let us never mistake motion for action. The Academy allowed Halle Berry to walk up to the metaphorical door of Best Actress, turn the key, and walk through the door. The Academy then, 20 years later, allowed Michelle Yeoh to walk up to the same door, turn the key, and walk through. And they stand alone in their respective rooms, behind the door, hearing the chaos from the room down the hall with 70-plus white women. And after nearly 100 years, the Academy is finally willing to expose the door for Native American actors, with Lily Gladstone being the first. She walked up to the door, tried to insert the key, but the door did not open. And while Lily stands in front of the door, waiting for the right role to give her the right key to open the door and walk through it, hopefully, maybe foolishly, her nomination will open many other doors for Native Americans in the entertainment industry to finally receive the recognition that they've deserved.